Big up, everyone. I'm going to go live for a bit. Okay, I've just finished Mo's channel, so everyone's going to jump over. I'm going to have a good talk about some of the Liverpool transfers, and I'm also going to do a bit on the tactics board today. Tune in, stay tuned, hit the like and subscribe right now. Okay, that channel starting now. Evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. If you haven't hit the like, subscribe, please do. I've just been on Mo's channel. It's just been absolute mayhem. If you haven't just been listening, Manchester City fans just having a complete meltdown. Hilarious. We ended up with like Arsenal and Liverpool fans actually consoling them for some reason. Bit weird. I wanted to just do a little bit of a show tonight just to cover a couple of things that have popped up in the news. Obviously, you can see my subject, which is Frimpong Done, Wirtz as a secret, and Bradley New Deal. I want to cover a couple of those things off. I also wanted to quickly look at the tactics board as well, which is something I'm going to start using. So let's start right away. Okay, let me share some screens. You know how it goes. So first of all, let's cover off Bradley contracts. So I did cover this on a previous show about the Bradley conversation. I think it's really interesting as well that this has kind of popped up straight after I talked about it, because I was actually talking about the fact that I wasn't sure whether we were going to go for Frimpong because we were trying to negotiate a contract with Bradley and he turned some down. And the interesting thing about it is it's now kind of come out that we tried for Frimpong last season, but Xabi Alonso persuaded him to stay another year. So I think it's really interesting the fact that we are playing Frimpong as a Mo Salah backup as well as a Bradley player as well. So there's going to be kind of a challenge there for the pair of them to play against each other. But I think what's really interesting, maybe I'm in phase one, mate. Big up, Don. Hope you're well, mate. I'm actually going to cover some stuff on Wirtz. I'll send you a link if you want to jump in, mate. Let me know. So basically, I talked about the fact that I wasn't sure whether Frimpong was going to come in as a Bradley replacement, like as in he was going to play the games that Trent would have played, or whether he was going to be Mo Salah's replacement and Mo Salah might move into a different position. But I think what's really interesting is we were going to sign him last year, which meant that maybe we had an inclination that Mo might have been leaving, because Mo's just done an interview and Mo said he was only 10% sure that he was going to stay. So I think that's really interesting that Mo wasn't 100% sure whether he was going to stay. So maybe Frimpong was going to be Mo's replacement. Like, I don't know. I don't know where we sit on that and how you feel about that. But I think he could be the heir to Mo in the future. Like, obviously, he's not going to score as many goals. That's just a fact. Like, but he may be able to get as many assists, and he may be able to be in a position to create as much, and he may be able to, get a certain amount of goals. But I just think that one's a real interesting one, that these kind of things have aligned, which means that Mo didn't think he was going to stay. We were trying to get Frimpong, even though Trent was there, which meant that he would have played where Mo would have played potentially. And now we've signed Frimpong. Trent's gone. Bradley's on a new deal means that where is the situation there? And also, in the last press conference, they talked about right back positions, and Slot talked about Gomez. Slot mentioned Gomez. Like, he said, I've got plenty of right back options. I've got Bradley. I've got Gomez. So does that mean that Frimpong isn't going to be a right back? Like, we do have to look at this, because there's a lot of things which are kind of pointing to the fact that is Mo going to get moved into the number 9 position? Or is Mo going to get moved into the number 10 position? And maybe Frimpong is going to play as the right winger. Like, I think it's a really interesting situation. And I also want to say as well that I talked about this extensively over the last couple of months, that I was convinced that Slot was going to move Mo into the centre and he was going to buy Frimpong. Like, I actually talked about it, that I felt like he was going to buy Frimpong, play him in Mo's position, and move Mo into the centre. And Mo was going to be a false 9. And we were going to have a 10, as in Dom. And Mo and Dom were going to play more together. Like, as in the connection was going to be more with those. Because Dom can play further over on the left, and Mo can play in that floating role around the hot zone in the centre, which is where we're trying to get Mo anyway. And look, we're only going to see what happens in the pre-season. But I'm telling you, it's exciting. I mean, it really is exciting. And I know there's a lot of people that are talking about, oh, everything's going to change because we have Frimpong as a right back. Guys, maybe Frimpong's not the right back. Maybe Bradley is the right back. And that's the reason why he signed a 5-year contract. And maybe Frimpong is going to be the right winger. And we've cried out for a right winger to be able to take people on, to be able to bomb past people with pace, to be able to have the skill, to be able to have the capability to put the ball into the box all the time in the right position. And if you've watched Frimpong, which I bet you have watched Frimpong now, he does this. He does this a lot. Like, he creates a huge amount of chances for the strikers. And if that's going to be Mo with a cutback on the edge of the box, what do you think Mo's going to do? Mo's going to bury it. And this is why Mo has been so lethal this season, is because Mo's been getting chances. And he's a really interesting stat about Mo, by the way, is Mo has taken fewer shots than any other season before than this season, but he scored more goals with his chances, and he's hit the target more with his shots, because we are getting him into positions where he doesn't need to take wacky shots. He doesn't need to try these curlers into the top bin all the time. He doesn't need to do it, because he's being put in positions where he can take a shot and he feels confident enough that he doesn't need to try too many shots. And if we're going to put him in the hot zone next season regularly, because he's not going to have to do the wing work, because he's going to have Frimpong there, and he's going to have Bradley underlapping. I mean, is there much change? Like, the team dynamic doesn't have to change that much from what it is this season. And we're all scared about, oh, well, what's it going to do to Canate? What's it going to do to Gravenberch? Like, and also, we don't need to have a babysitter for Mo. We don't need to have Dominic Szoboszlai as Mo's babysitter, because we'll have a pacey winger who can run up and down. We'll also have a pacey right back who can run up and down. So we don't need to have a babysitter anymore, because we've got players that can go back. I just think it's a really interesting dynamic. Actually, what I'm going to do now quickly is I'm actually going to go show you the tactics board. Okay, so this is the tactics board I've got. And what I'm explaining is kind of what I'll show you, because Frimpong's done. Like, he's signed a 5-year contract. Like, that's done. All we got to do is pay the release clause, which is 29.5 million, and it's also staggered as well. So this is another scenario where we're getting a really good deal. But if we look at the tactics board, yeah, and this is why I put Frimpong here, yeah, maybe this isn't what's going to happen. Maybe what's going to happen is Bradley is going to play as the right back. Frimpong is going to play as the. Let me just move that around. Sorry. Frimpong's going to play as the winger. Bradley plays as the right back. I don't know whether Kanate is going to stay or not, by the way. But we play this asymmetric formation. We've been doing this all season, by the way, where we've got Mac a little bit higher than Grav, yeah, and then we've got Dominic Szoboszlai that kind of fits in there. Then we've obviously had a Jota. We've obviously had a Jota or a Nunez or a Diaz here, yeah, and then obviously this was Dom. Maybe next season this could be Mo. So it's a different dynamic. So the switch might be different. So it could be this way round. Or it could be the same way round, where Mac's a little bit higher, Grav plays in this position. If Bradley comes forward more, then Grav can drop into a back three. Kerkez can then overlap Gapco. And I'm leaving Wirtz in there, by the way, because I know this is quite wild, but I genuinely believe we're going to get Wirtz. I genuinely believe we're going to get Wirtz. Okay, and I'll talk to you more about Wirtz in a minute. But I honestly believe that we're getting Wirtz. I honestly believe it. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So this is the tactics. We get Salah into this position more. Frimpong can bomb on and do his overlaps. Yeah, Bradley can play higher. He can do underlapping runs. He can do overlapping runs, whatever. But he doesn't need to do as much work because we've got a player who can play in the right wing, who's really pacey, and then he just does his cutbacks to Mo, and Mo will be in the box or around the box, and then you've got this guy here. And if you haven't watched Wirtz play, then you need to go and watch Wirtz play football because he works so hard off the ball. Like, I mean, he is an absolute engine. He is a machine. He has so many touches. He does so much off the ball work in this area where he plays a lot. He plays a lot of the time. He plays in the right hand side, but he can also on the left hand side. But he can also play on the right hand side, and he covers all of this area every single game. Absolute machine. You think Dominic Szoboszlai has got an engine on him? This guy's got a real engine on him as well, and he's only just turned 22, by the way, a couple of weeks ago. He's still so young. Such a fantastic talent. Like, such a fantastic talent. So with the ball, yeah, with the ball, we play like this. Like, seriously, like you watch us play. Like, we play like this. Like, this season, we've been playing like this, yeah. And then you've got either a Bradley or a Trent who plays here, and you've got Grav who plays here. Mac comes high, Dom's up here, Cody's out here, Salah's obviously been here, but you know, with the ball, we've got a high back three, because Robbo didn't really get forward that much. And I know we're all kind of convinced that we're going to get Kerkez. We may get Kerkez, we may not. Like, I genuinely don't know now, because if Bradley signed a new contract and Frimpong's coming in, I don't see Frimpong as being a replacement for Bradley. I see Frimpong playing as a right winger. And if we keep Gomez, then we've genuinely got we've got our third choice centre back who can play anywhere in that position, which means that I can see Quansah possibly going. Hato does look like an option. It really does look like an option. He can also play left back. He can also play centre back. I don't know. I'm really unsure about how that dynamic works. Because, okay, say we do get Kerkez. Yeah, Kerkez is as attack minded as Bradley. So would it be more of Grav dropping in as the back three like this? And then you've got Kerkez being able to bomb on. And then you've got Cody maybe cutting in. And you've got Kerkez doing the runs here. Because you've got Frimpong here. So where does Bradley go? Does Bradley just keep on doing these underlapping runs? And he ends up inverting more? And then he ends up playing with Mac as kind of inverting. And then you've got Wirtz just floating around here. Cody coming in. Salah just being a threat around this area. He doesn't come anywhere over here, but he'll just be a threat around here. It's so exciting. Like there's so much to like about like the attack that we could have next season. It's really exciting. And the crazy thing is, I'm not even talking about like players like Oshiman or Alvarez or Isaac or anyone like that. I'm just talking about Wirtz. I'm just talking about having Wirtz there because Mo would be in the centre playing as a false nine. So you've already got your number 9, but he's not specifically playing as a target 9. He's playing as a false 9. Cherky could be an option. Cherky could definitely be an option. Maybe Cherky is the backup if we don't get Wirtz. Maybe Cherky is the backup if we don't get Wirtz. I know I'm giddy about it. I'm really giddy about it, Android. I know. I can't help it. I'm so excited about the way this team could be. And then, I mean, I might as well just get the tactics board out and just show you some of this stuff as well. So what I've kind of created is that's a list of all the players that will possibly leave. Yeah, that's a list of everyone that can leave. Yeah, this is a list of the bench. Yeah, next season. I put Wharton on there as well, by the way. But after today, I'm not sure whether we get Wharton because they're in Europe. So I'm not really sure whether we get Wharton next season because they qualify for Europe. And then obviously you've got a list of players here that are all possible players that could leave. Diaz, Elliott, Quansah. They could all possibly leave. And Jota, they could all leave. Then you've got the likes of Gallagher, Nunes, Chiesa, Morton, Doak, Costas, Gordon, Jaros, Ramsey, Kumas. All of those could go. All of them could easily go. And then your bench, you've got Ali or Mamadashvili. Then you've got Dom Szoboszlai, you can play anywhere in midfield. Curtis Jones, play anywhere in midfield. You've got Robbo as backup for Kerkez. You've got Joe Gomez, who Slot's talked about recently. I think Slot would pick him ahead of Quansah, so we'd probably keep him. And then you've got Rio Engamoa, who's another young player that could come in. You've got Endo, who could potentially do a job. And then you've obviously got Dans, who's still around. And you've got McConnell as well, who's still around as well, and Trey Nione, and there's a couple of others, but there's a huge raft of players that Slot will probably sell or loan. Like, there really is a huge raft of players that will probably leave the club. And they've not played any football, so why would we keep them? Like, why would we keep them? They've not played any football. I mean, Gomez came in and did a really good job this season. Like, he did. He came in, I think he's played like 26 games. He did a good job. Like, and he can play left back, he can play right back, he can play centre back. He's a player to have around. Just signed a new contract. I actually, we can afford Wirtz, and I'll tell you why. I've got some great stuff about Wirtz, by the way. Anyway, so there's 220 of you in here. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you're a new subscriber, let me know in the chat, and we'll all welcome you. 100%. Yeah, Gomez wasn't the left back last season. I know that. He was the best left back the season before in the league, if you ask me. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more screen shares. Okay, so there's a couple of players that we're linked with. This is one player that we're linked with that you might not know about, and he's just won. He's just won the Italian Cup, and it's Dan Doy, yeah, who's a winger. We're linked with him. That was yesterday, by the way, and his manager said that Liverpool have been watching him this season. Okay, that's another one. Then you've obviously got this one, which I find really interesting, which was the big up Joshua. Good to have you on board. Big up Harrison. Good to have you on board. Mo Salah mentioned that there's space in our team for Kevin De Bruyne. Find that really interesting. Big up Tahir. Good to have you on board. I find that really interesting. Also, this was today. More stuff about Adam Wharton. £60 million. He's available. There's loads of clubs that want him though, including Real Madrid and Barcelona. I mean, if you just watched him today, then you know why. He's absolutely sensational. Then obviously you've got Marca doing pieces on Canate. Look, I don't want it to happen. I really don't. But Canate leaving is looking more and more likely. He's pulling all the same moves as Trent did. There's so much stuff coming from Spain about him, and he's not signed a new contract. He wants a massive pay rise. I think what's really interesting is we've just given Conor Bradley a big pay rise. He's just gone from 10 grand to 75. Are we willing to do Canate 70 grand to 250? That's the question. Are we willing to bump Canate to that high a wage? I don't think we can. I just think it's going to be one of those hills that the board die on, where they just go, look, we can't keep on giving these guys that much money. He actually asked for 200k more than he's on now. If you read it correctly, he wants a £200,000 increase on what he's currently got. So he actually wants 270. It's an interesting one. I don't know how we all feel, but certainly don't want to lose him. The Wirtz stuff's interesting. I've got loads of stuff to cover. So if you haven't seen it, yeah, Sky did a comparison of Wirtz and Kevin De Bruyne, and Wirtz is actually better than Kevin De Bruyne, like in some areas, okay? But we've all been crying out for a Kevin De Bruyne at Liverpool, like we have done for years. Like this is probably the reason why everybody jumped on the Trent playing in midfield train, because we all thought that Trent could be our Kevin De Bruyne, because everybody wants a Kevin De Bruyne. Everybody wants a guy that can create 20 assists from midfield. Everybody wants that guy who can dictate games, who can play the killer pass. Everybody wants that, yeah. This is what Wirtz can do for Liverpool if we got him. He could be our KDB, but he's obviously only 22. Yeah. And there's a lot more to Wirtz than what Kevin De Bruyne can do, because he's obviously younger and he's physically better. I also wanted to Okay. Sorry, guys, my PC crashed. Are you still there? Is everyone? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you let me know? Can you let me know if you can hear me? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Sorry, my PC crashed. I don't know what happened there. But literally, I had to reboot the entire thing. Okay, so I'm doing a screen share now on Adam Wharton. Okay, so there's loads of stuff about Adam Wharton. Hang on, let me add this. 2 seconds. Sorry. Okay, let me just add this. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Bear with me. Yep. So the Adam Wharton one is a really interesting one because because he's available for 60 million. What kind of happens with Crystal Palace is they have like a setup where they sell two players every season, and they did it last season. They sold Elise and they sold it was the central defender they sold. So they sold two big players, yeah, and it's the same that's going to happen this season, like coming up. So they might sell Gahey and they might sell Eze, or they might sell Wharton, or they might sell Gahey. Like Anderson, that's it. Anderson got sold. So they might sell two players, but because they got into Europe, I don't know whether they're going to sell anyone because they're probably going to stay. He might go to Newcastle. That's a fair point, but he's their captain and he's just got into Europe. Like they've just won a trophy for the first time. Like so, I don't know. Like maybe they'll stay another year. And Adam Wharton's only like 22, so he could just stay another year. Like, or we could sign him and then maybe loan him back for a year, like because that's the deal that they'll do. Like maybe they'll sell him cheaper, like knowing that they'll keep him for another year, and then we'll get him a year later. bit like what we did with Naby. Like we just don't know what's going to happen with Palace because of that situation. But that's really that's really the that's really the situation on that. So a couple of things that I wanted to cover is this. So this is one that came up about Wirtz. So according to Kicker, yeah. So according to Kicker, who's one of the biggest media outlets in Germany, by the way. According to Kicker, the midfielder is valued at 150 million euros. Yeah, it was 125 million pounds, which means Liverpool would have to break their transfer record by around 40 million to get him. Yeah. So how can we make this feasible? So Leverkusen would potentially drop the value to 75 million if we threw Harvey Elliott in. And remember, Xabi Alonso wanted Harvey Elliott. Like, he really rated Harvey Elliott. Okay? Yeah, we rate Harvey Elliott at 50 million. So if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, yeah, Harvey Elliott is probably the best player to replace Wirtz out of our squad, because he's not good enough to do what Wirtz does in our squad, yeah, but he could do a job in Germany. They got more time on the ball. He's obviously not as physically strong, and Leverkusen do want English players. You're right. They also wanted Morton. You're absolutely spot on, Anton. I don't know why you're. Yeah. What if Elliott went to Bayer Leverkusen as their number 10? He'd be all over that. Elliott would love that. He'd be their main man. He's a generational. He's absolutely generational. Also, this guy's generational as well. By the way, don't care what anyone says. Wharton is he's incredible. Anyway, so what I wanted to cover as well is, I can't actually show you on the screen because it was with Sky, but I'll read it out, okay? And I find this really, really interesting. Yeah. So Florian Wirtz, these are some of the numbers on Wirtz. Oh, I also wanted to kind of tell you the secret, by the way. Yeah. So in case you didn't know the secret about Wirtz, so the secret about Wirtz, have I got it up on here? I might have it up on here. Have I got it up on here? I don't think I have. No, I haven't got it up on here. What I have got up on here is this, though. So this was in the Daily Mail. So the Daily Mail saying that it's done. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, so the Wirtz. So the secret I've got on Wirtz is go on big screen on this one. So this is the bomber. So the Wirtz secret was, we tried to sign Wirtz a couple of years ago before he went to Bayer Leverkusen, and the reason why we didn't get him is because he was persuaded, and also his management were paid off, yeah, and we couldn't get him over to Liverpool at the time, but it was discussed, okay. And what's really weird is it's the same with Frimpong. Like, we wanted Frimpong, but we couldn't get him. We wanted Wirtz, but we couldn't get him. But the interesting thing with Wirtz is Wirtz has a lower release clause to non-German clubs. Did you know this? Did people know this in the chat? Yeah. So he has 100 million euros release clause to non-German clubs, and 150 million release clause to German clubs. You did know it. Okay. Big up, Jamie. Hope you're well, mate. Which means that Wirtz is only around the 75 to 80 million pound mark. Okay. That's a doable player. That's definitely gettable. Like, that is a gettable player. Like, and the conversation I was talking about was we could sign Wirtz and Frimpong for about 100, 110 million, which is what we were going to spend on Caicedo. So we could definitely do this. We could definitely do this. Like, just think if we sold Nunes, yeah, and Elliott, that's probably 110 million. Or we sold Nunes and Diaz. That's easily over 110 million. Like I've spoke about this extensively. Saudi Arabia are going to fund our title challenge next year. Like, they funded our midfield rebuild. They're going to fund our title challenge next year. And I would not be surprised if a shitload of players ended up leaving in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if Nunes and Diaz and potentially Jota and a couple of others all left, all went out the door and went to Saudi Arabia. And you also have to think about Frimpong is going to be paid in installments. So Frimpong you might not even have to include in the 80 million. The 80 million might just need to be another loan like we did with Dominic Szoboszlai. It might just be another loan like we did where we got all the cash like a Dominic Szoboszlai, and then we just wax the whole release clause. But I'm telling you, I'm putting it on the line that Wirtz is going to be a Liverpool player. So I'm going to give you some numbers on Wirtz, by the way. So since the start of last season, this is Bundesliga, by the way. So this is in the Bundesliga. This is how good Wirtz is, by the way. Like let's just make this clear. Wirtz is like Mo Salah in the Bundesliga. We have to really understand how good this guy is. He's just turned 22 in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, he got 23 assists last season. That's number one in the Bundesliga. He provided 1,790 passes into the final third. We're crying out for a guy to put the ball in the final third. That's what we've craved for the whole of this season, because Dom doesn't do it enough. Mac doesn't do it enough. Grav doesn't do it enough. Diaz doesn't do it enough. Gapco doesn't do it enough. Like, nobody puts the ball in the final third enough, apart from Mo. But we need Mo on the end of it to score. 1,790 passes into the final third. It's the second best player in the Bundesliga. Yeah? 313 take-ons attempted. He's number one in the Bundesliga. He takes players on. We haven't got a guy that does that in the number 10 position. We've been crying out for it. He does this. 49 through balls last season. Number one in the Bundesliga. We haven't got a guy that does this. Nobody plays through balls. Trent does it every now and again, but we're losing him. And also, possession won in the final third. This is what I'm talking about, off the ball work. 71 times he's won the ball in the final third. He's number one in the Bundesliga. He is absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you, he is quite possibly the best person Slot could sign for that position. Like, there is nobody else that Slot would want more than Florian Wirtz in that number 10 position. Honestly, he's incredible. His numbers are off the scale. Okay, this numbers will blow your socks off as well, by the way. most under 23 goal involvements since last season. Yeah. There's only one player that's better than him, and that's Cole Palmer. Florian Wirtz has got 44 goal involvements since last season. 21 goals, 23 assists. There's only one player better under the age of 23, and that's Cole Palmer. And we all know why. Cole Palmer's an unbelievable player. He's better than Bukayo Saka. He's better than Jude Bellingham. He's better than Elise. He's better than Barcola. He's better than Simmons. He's better than Jackson. And he's better than Sesko. He is absolutely phenomenal. Like if we pay 80 million for him, which is the release clause, 75 to 80 million. Like honestly, do you wonder why we're talking to his parents? And we would not be talking to his parents if this wasn't further down the line. Like we have to understand that this isn't just like this isn't like last time where we called up Caicedo, or we went to Brighton and we put in a mad bid for at Brighton, got accepted, but we never spoke to the agents or the player. This isn't the same. This is being done the right way. This would have been happening for the last couple of weeks. I'm telling you, this would have been happening for a while. And this has been getting worked on for quite a while now. And because of Manchester City not being where they are, and because of Bayern Munich not having the space, and also basically pissing off Bayer Leverkusen by thinking that they can just go in and take all their players, I just think this is an interesting one that we've got his agents over, who's his mum and dad, and we've spoken to them. And Manchester City didn't, by the way. Manchester City didn't speak to them. It was us. We had the meeting. We had the meeting. Also, I've also think this is quite a wild one as well, by the way. He's hit the woodwork 12 times. He's hit the woodwork 12 times. Since 2023-24. So he's already shooting as well. And like I've got the comparison of him and De Bruyne. It's wild. So I look, the reason why I want to say this as well is maybe we did look at De Bruyne. Like there is a definite thought that we maybe had looked at De Bruyne and we've gone, look, can we get De Bruyne? Yeah, can we get De Bruyne into Liverpool? And what is he going to do for us in the next year or two? And maybe conversations were had, and they sat there and went, De Bruyne's on a free transfer. Like we could put him in the number 10, like for a year or two. Like, and maybe they've sat down and talked about it. And maybe Slot just went, nah, I'm not. We need the next De Bruyne. And they've gone, okay then. So is there a player out there that's got similar numbers to De Bruyne? Is there a player that can do similar things to De Bruyne? And then they've looked at the data and there's only one guy that shows up. And it's Wirtz. There's only one guy that shows up. Goals in the 90th minute in the last 2 years, 0.25 De Bruyne, 0.41 Wirtz. Assists, 0.54 De Bruyne, 0.45 Wirtz. Chances created, 3.59 De Bruyne, 2.52 Wirtz. Through balls, 0.79, this is per game, 0.79 De Bruyne, 0.95 Wirtz. Final third passes, 33.71 De Bruyne, 34.70 Wirtz. Take-ons attempted, 1.92 De Bruyne, 6 Wirtz. We have literally got the next Kevin De Bruyne. If we can get him before Manchester City do, I mean, seriously. I mean, Salah's going to be eating all season long. Salah's going to be eating all season long. and then you're looking at what, another player to go with Salah? Like, seriously? And then you've got all of the creation that comes from the right hand side with Frimpong, and then you've still got Dominic Szoboszlai, you've still got Curtis Jones, you've still got McAllister, you've still got Gravenberch. I mean, seriously. I mean, maybe we go and get a defensive midfielder. Maybe we go and get a guy that can be back up with Gravenberch. Like, maybe we go and get one more centre back. But I mean, it's quite frightening. I don't know about João Pedro though, because Brighton are just not an easy club to deal with. Like, they'll want 80 to 100 million. I mean, if we're going to go and get a striker, maybe we go and get Brian Mbeumo. Like, he's potentially there for 50 million. He's potentially there for 50 million. Like, he's good. Like, he scored 18 goals this season. Like, maybe we go and get another player. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to do a super chat. Sorry, I forgot about super chat. Massive shout out for Singh. Much appreciated, mate, for the super chat. Sorry, I didn't have it starred. My bad. Appreciate the super chat. Or David on a free. Good shout. Or the lap. Everyone's talking about the lap. Maybe we go and get the lap. He's nice and cheap. I don't know, but I'm telling you, like, if we can get Wirtz, then we've got the new Kevin De Bruyne. We've literally got the new Kevin De Bruyne, and we've got the guy that can help Mo eat. He can feed Mo. Osherman as well. I mean, Osherman. You know what? I'm all there. I'm all in for that one. But I just think it's really, really exciting. Like, to be at the table with these players, and just break it down like this. Like, we've all talked about the fact that, we should throw everything at Alvarez. We should throw everything at Isak. These guys are going to cost 150 million, 140 million. We could have Florian Wirtz and Frimpong, who played with each other for the last 2 years, who've done an invincible season together, who've created and scored so many goals together, who are friends together. We can go and get them for 100 million. Like, 100 million for both of them. Like, straight into your team. Like, and I'm telling you, you build your team around Wirtz. You build your team around him. Like, Mo leaves 2 years' time, or whether he stays, who knows? But then you go and get a 9. You go and get a 9. If you want a 9, you go and get a 9. If you want to play Frimpong as a right back, then you play Frimpong as a right back. Then you go and you put Mo on the right, which means you then buy a 9. And you buy a 10 maybe to go next to Wirtz. You play him further forward. You play him as a false 9. Maybe you play Wirtz on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. He's completely interchangeable. Like, the guy can play as a number 8 if you really want him as a number 8. He's such a versatile player. But Bayer Leverkusen have been building their own team around this guy. And he has been the orchestrator, the facilitator that we keep on talking about for Bayer Leverkusen, which has made them tick and made them so good. It's always been about him. He's outgrowing the team. He's outgrowing that league. He's been there for, I don't know, he's been there for 2 years. He's been at the other club. I think it was Mönchengladbach, I think. He was with them for another 3 years. So he's outgrowing. He's outgrowing that league. And he's actually said in Sports Illustrated that he feels like he should move abroad now. So everyone was talking about, like they want to hear something from his mouth that says that he wants to move abroad. Well, he said it in Sports Illustrated in May, that he feels like he could do with a move abroad. Well, Liverpool, here we go. And if he was willing to go to Manchester City, which is towards the north, then he's willing to come to Liverpool because he's going to be living near Manchester anyway. It's not going to make any difference. And he's coming to a team that has just won the league. That absolutely battered his team in the Champions League. He's coming into Champions League football next season. He's coming into a team that's got a new coach that plays fantastic football, which really cries out for a guy in the number 10 position that we've all been crying out for. And we're signing his mate who plays on the left-hand side. Like could have Frimpong been the key for getting Wirtz? Like, who knows? But it's certainly a good thing to do, to integrate him into the team or help him not feel homesick is signing his mate. Then you've also signed Frimpong, who's also got friends at Liverpool in Cody Gakpo and Virgil van Dijk and Gravenberch, and potentially we go and get Hato. Like, we are building like a little Dutch contingent. There's a lot of good Dutch players out there, though, by the way. But, man, I mean, seriously, I've just given you the numbers. Like, he's the real deal. He's a generational talent. And we've just lost a generational talent in Trent Alexander-Arnold. So we lose one generational talent to then sign another. I think that's what we need to do. And, maybe you think he is or he isn't, but I genuinely believe that we've probably got a potential generational talent in Conor Bradley. I think he's absolutely sensational. I think if he can stay fit, I think we've got a serious player on our hands. Next season. Anyway, appreciate everyone that's in here now. I'm going to do a couple more minutes and then I'm going to finish on the hour. Have we got any more stuff to share with you? This one's quite interesting. I thought you might find this quite funny. So, Opta, these are the numbers that Opta gave us. Most likely to win the Premier League this season, 82% Manchester City, 12% Arsenal, 5% Liverpool. And guess what teams didn't win a cup this season? Manchester City and Arsenal. So what else have we got? This was what Roy Keane said about Adam Morton. He just thinks he thinks he's sensational. The guy knows what he's doing on the ball all the time. So this was also the stuff about swap deal. So this is making the rounds, by the way. Liverpool could do a swap deal to land Wirtz, which obviously includes Elliott and Gerald Quansah, because you also have to look at, if they lose Wirtz, they'll need a 10, and they're also losing Jonathan Tah. Well, they could get Quansah off us. Potentially, they can replace Jonathan Tah with Quansah and Wirtz with Harvey Elliott, who are both great players, both young players. That's definitely a conversation that could be had. Also, this was Liverpool keen on Ryan Wan, who plays for Sheffield United. I don't think we will sign him, by the way, but what we're interested in. Chris Wilder said that Liverpool have looked at him. I don't know if you know anything about him, but yeah, he's a player that apparently we've looked at. So we're scheduling the medical in the next 48 hours for Frimpong. What was really interesting is Frimpong didn't play in the last game. He was on the bench. He was on the bench the whole game. So he didn't actually play for whatever reason, probably because they didn't want him to get injured. Because he's signing for us. Yeah, he's also homegrown as well. Yeah, he also doesn't speak Dutch. Did you know that? Frimpong doesn't actually speak Dutch. He speaks English and German, so he actually speaks perfect English. And he's also still got a flat in Manchester, so he's still actually got a place to live in the UK, which is really interesting. He was always going to come back sometime. I haven't got much else for you. I just wanted to talk about Wirtz today. Also, this one as well. This was Romano recently. Talking about Darwin Núñez. Plan is clear since February. It hasn't changed. Darwin Núñez is expected to leave. We turned down an offer with Al Nassr. Saudi clubs are coming back. Interesting one with Osimhen is Napoli are looking at strikers, and also Osimhen has gone completely quiet. Like nobody's talking about Osimhen. Like they're talking about Osimhen to Manchester United. They're not talking about Osimhen to Chelsea. Like Osimhen is not linked with even Saudi Arabia now. Like it's gone completely quiet. And what does that normally mean? I don't think we'll get Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky wants to go to PSG. By the way, I think he wants to go to PSG. And if they get rid of Barcola, then there's a potential possibility that he might go to PSG. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring up the the info I've got on Osimhen's wages because this needs to be cleared up because this is like okay. So this is something that we need to nip in the bud because it's just like a weird rumor. So Ben Jacobs reported yesterday that the Nigerian strikers demanding 250k a week. That's not crazy wages. He's an elite player. He's absolutely an elite player. He should be earning around 250k a week. Like he's performed at every level at every club, and he's 26, so he's not young, which means he should be getting quite high wages at his next club. Like I'd understand if he wants like 400 grand or 350, but 250 grand isn't that much. Like it isn't that much for an elite striker. Like it isn't. Like that's how much Nico Williams is on at Bilbao. Like Atletico Bilbao, he's on 250 grand a week. Like let's look at some players that are on 250k. Okay, let's have a look at some players that are on 250k. Okay, forwards who earn over 250k a week wages. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so there's several forwards that earn 250k a week. Okay, so we got Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, Casemiro. They're not forwards, are they? Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Antony. Antony's on 200k. Okay, let's see if there's any more. There should be more. Okay, Let me. Okay, centre forwards. Okay, so let's have a look at just the Premier League. Yeah, so we'll just look at the Premier League. Okay, so we'll just look at the Premier League for forwards. Okay, so these are the highest paid players. Okay, can we see? Oh no, we can't see. 2 seconds. Okay, now we can see. So these are the highest paid players. Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Mamouche is on 295, Havertz is on 280, Jesus is on 265. So are you trying to tell me that you wouldn't pay Osimhen 250 if Jesus is being paid 265? Like seriously? Mickey Mount's on 250, John Stones is on 250, Odegaard's on 240, Gundogan's on 230, Foden's on 225, Sterling's on 215, Partey's on 200. Like, and like, what world are we in here where you're saying that Osimhen shouldn't be on 250? Like, he should easily be on 250 if he comes to Liverpool. I would class him elite, like below the likes of Virgil and Mo. Like, I would put him in that bracket. I'd put him in that bracket. Like, I really would. Like, I'd put him in that bracket of elite. Like, De Ligt's on 195. Like, who else have we got? Werner's on 160. Who else have we got? Saliba's on 190. Nkunku's on 200. Son's on 200. Yeah, so I would put him in that bracket. Like, I would. I'm gonna actually look for him here. Spelled his name wrong, haven't I? How do you spell his name? How do you spell his name properly? Can someone tell me how you spell his name properly? It's Osih. Okay, I should know that. Osih. No, that's not right. Okay, Victor. Okay, there he is. Okay, let's have a look. Have a look what he's on. Okay, so currently he earns 15 million. Okay, so he's on 192. Yeah, so he's on 192. Yeah, he's on 192,000 a week right now. So if he comes to Liverpool, he gets a 50 grand pay rise. Is that, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't think he will. It's been. I've just showed you. Ben Jacobs has said yesterday that he's after 250. He's after 250. So he gets 250. Like, I ain't got a problem with that at all. No problem at all. He's a 26-year-old who's going to sign like what, a 5-year contract. Like, he's on 246,000. So he doesn't even get a pay rise. Well, he does a little bit, but he's on 250. So you pay him 250. If he's getting paid 250 in Napoli, that's not his fault. That's not his fault that he's getting paid 250 in Napoli. He's going to expect to get paid the type of wages that he's getting at Napoli than he is when he comes to Liverpool. So we'd have to give him 250. So that's absolutely fine. Like, his numbers are off the scale. Like, they just are. Anyway, I've gone over the hour that I said I'd do. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do. Also, big thanks to Sing for the super chat. If you want to support the channel, just go into the description and buy me a coffee. That's the best way to do it. Also, I'm going to do another deep dive on a couple more players in the next couple of days. But hope you're all well. Hope you all have a good evening. Up the Reds, and I will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.